Hey, it's Dan from Grand Boats, and this is the Grand G850. Can be powered by a single 350 horsepower, twin 200 horsepowers. It's up to you. Should we go take a look through? First up, let's talk power. On the G850, you can have up to 400 horsepower in a single engine. We prefer the Yamaha 350 horsepower outboard or twin 200 horsepowers. We love these Yamaha 200 horsepower outboards. The Yamaha 200 horsepowers are 4-cylinder, so they're extremely efficient. They're also quiet and have electric steering, which makes driving around really nice and easy. You can then pair it with the Yamaha HelmMaster EX joystick system, and it makes mooring a breeze on these engines. While we're here at the Transom, I thought I'd show you the twin swim platforms either side of the engines. If you've got a single engine, these platforms are slightly wider, but they come with an inbuilt telescopic boarding ladder, sea deck for non-slip flooring, and 2 rope lockers just behind the engines to keep those mooring lines out the way and tidy when you're not using them. Either side of the G850, at the stern, you've got more non-slip sea deck flooring for when you're getting in and out of the water and boarding the boat. You then got retractable cleats, which again get out the way when you're walking on and off the boat. You're not going to catch anything on these cleats. And then these are the ports for the stern sunshade. Covers the entire back of the boat. You've got carbon fiber poles that come out of here, go up and hold the sunshade up. Again, really nice and neat. And of course, overhead, you've got the ski arch. You've got a welded ski eye in the back of it, so you can tow from a nice high point on the G850. And the fiberglass part on top is perfect for putting VHF antennas and the GPS puck for the Yamaha HelmMaster joystick system. I love the back of the G850. You've got plenty of space for quite a few people to sit around a table that goes here in the middle. There is an option of a sunbed infill at the back here, but I think it's quite nice to have a table area and then the sunbed at the bow that I'll show you in a minute. When you've got the table up, you can easily open the full-size bar fridge that's in here inside the driver's seat. So when you're sat around having drinks, having a bit of food, you don't need to pack things away in order to get to your fridge. Like all other models in the Grand range, the storage on the G850 is vast. Starting with this rear locker here. If I open this up, inside here on the left-hand side is a triple battery setup, 2 fuel filters for the twin engines, and in here we've also got a cover and a couple of life jackets. Any water tanks for the shower that's also at the stern, that's underneath the floor. The fuel tank's underneath the floor. This is the space you get in that rear locker. It's absolutely massive. There's also 2 lockers either side of the rear locker. One is purely storage and the other one houses your isolator switches. The helm seat on the G850 unlocks at the back and then tilts forward. This reveals a sink and a tap, and then an area here perfectly sized for one of your cartridge gas cookers. So when you're on the water, catch a fish, cook yourself some fish right here on the cooker, all on board this 8.5 meter rib. Electronics wise, the G850 can have a lot. This one in particular has a 12-inch Garmin, a Scanstrut wireless phone charger in the middle, and then a Fusion stereo off to one side. You've got 6 amplified Apollo Fusion speakers around the boat, 2 up in the T-top up here, 2 at the stern, and then 2 up at the bow. Over and above all the electronics we've got here down at the helm, up in the roof we've then got a Garmin radar, a light bar, and up here above the driver is a Yamaha screen and a Garmin VHF trucker style up and out the way. You gotta love it. Also on your dash, you've got your command center. You've got a button for everything. So working along here, you've got all your buttons for turning on the fridge, your lights, your horn, even the light bar up on the roof there. Then it comes to your Yamaha kit where you can start your engines, port and starboard on their own. And then your Yamaha GPS buttons as well, which allow you to do a heading hold, a course hold, pattern steer, or follow a certain route. Below that, you've then got your anchor windlass switch, so you can have your anchor going up and down from the comfort of the helm here. You got your Yamaha kill cord, and then we get to the really cool part, which is the Yamaha HelmMaster EX joystick system. So it starts off with your digital controls here, so you can use the engines independently from each other. You can split the sticks, or you press the single lever button, get rid of one stick and just control both engines on one single lever. Now above the control box is your Yamaha joystick. Now this is really cool. You press one button to activate the joystick, the engines tilt themselves up slightly to get into the optimum position to move the boat around. And then the top of this joystick, you always have to imagine it is the boat. So if you push the joystick that way, the boat's going to crab sideways. Same with the other way. If you twist the joystick, one engine goes in forwards, one engine goes in reverse, the boat starts pivoting on itself. If you do that at the same time as, say, pushing it forwards, the boat's then going to steer. So you push you can then go forwards, you can go into reverse, and as you're doing that, you can then twist and the boat turns at the same time as doing so. It's a really cool idea, and when you're in a really tight marina, the fact you can crab the boat, turn it while crabbing, it's absolutely brilliant. And then to finish off the dashboard, you've got 2 cup holders and a glove box. Overall, the Grand G850 console is really well designed. It's tall, so it gives you lots of protection. If you're stood up here and you've got 2 people stood next to each other, you can go 46 knots and still be able to have a chat to each other. This windscreen creates a lot of protection from the elements. When you're moving out of the standing position and ready to put the seat down in the sitting position, you sit down, put your feet up on the plinth here. This is a really nice driving position. Again, lots of protection from the wind. And most importantly about this console, it's central to the boat. When the boat is sat idle, the boat's not leaning off to one side, it doesn't have bad weight distribution on board. You can walk down both sides of the console. It's a really good design. And as you can see, sat behind the wheel here, I've got plenty of space in front of my belly, I've got plenty of space above my knees, and it's a really nice driving position. And as I said, walking down both sides of the console, plenty of space, and there's always a handrail to hold on to. As I said, the console is large, provides lots of wind protection, but it also hides the toilet and storage compartment under here. The nice part about the G850 toilet and storage compartment, you're not entering from the side, you don't have to fold yourself up to get inside this locker. You simply open the door and step down into the hull. In here, I can still stand up at the front, but it means it gives you lots of space. This is a useful locker. You can stand up in it, and then when you're ready to sit down, lots of overhead height, and I'm not having to be a contortionist to get in or out of this area. Now, this is where the serious storage space starts coming on. Underneath here is your main storage locker, and this locker is vast. It's really good for keeping all your safety gear, keeping your toys for out on the water. And in front of your main storage locker is your anchor locker, which means your anchor chain isn't involving itself in all of your belongings. It's in its own locker. Plus, you can open the locker lid, so when you're anchoring, you can see the anchor leave, and then you can see the anchor arrive again when bringing the anchor back up. And of course, again, like with all the boats in the Grand lineup, you've got this fiberglass bow step plate. You can nose the boat up to a pontoon, up to a dock. This gives your passengers a way of stepping onto the boat and then stepping down into the rest of the boat. It's also got a cleat each side for mooring up, a non-slip sea deck on top, so when you're boarding the boat, you're not going to slip over. Now, the sunbed area on this G850 is absolutely massive. There's no need for infills and no need for extra cushions. Simply these 2 cushions create the sunbed on top of the bow lockers, and as you can see, it's a really big area. Also, at the bow of the G850, like all other Grand models, you have these tube-mounted bow rails. They are glued onto the tube using the same glue the tube is made with, it's actually created with. It's a super strong bond. These do not come off. They also raise the freeboard of the tube, so anyone up here at the boat, if you've got little kids, it makes the tubes a bit higher. You can't just fall overboard, you've also got something to hold on to. Our customers love these rails. And this whole area can also be covered by a large sunshade extension coming out from the front of the T-top, like the stern one I mentioned earlier. It comes all the way out on 2 poles and then down onto the nose cone, so you can shade this whole bow area of the boat. And that is the Grand G850. It's quickly becoming one of our most popular boats here in Australia, and with the layout and the family friendliness of the boat, you can really see why. If you want to come and test one out and come see one for yourself, get in contact with us and your nearest dealer today.